and welcome to another elimination day here at VCT EMEA. Two teams have already been sent home this week, and it's time to see which will survive another round here at Kickoff. I'm your host, Yingsu, and I'm here with Kakuka and Billy from the Riot Games Arena in Berlin, Germany. Now, it is another elimination day. It was really brutal yesterday, so I don't know how these teams are going to survive today.
Yeah, exactly. We're having very long days here. The matches are at their full potential, going mostly to that third map, so I expect the same for today.
I think, if anything, it just shows how competitive VCT EMEA has gotten, right? The fact that a lot of these maps are going to overtime, it's just, yeah, it's been a long couple of weeks.
I do love how it's another year, but like another 11-something comeback from Fnatic.
Yeah.
We haven't moved on. We're just still there.
We haven't moved on, and to your point, Billy, I do not know if it's good that the region is competitive or it is a bad sign and a bad omen that we do not have someone that is super on top of the rest, thinking about those international events, and of course how we're going to measure with the rest of the regions.
Don't worry, Team Vitality is still in the upper bracket.
Good.
They'll show you, and Foot, they'll show you what domination really looks like. And speaking of, everybody was very excited about Florescent's debut last week, including us as well. But where does she actually sit when it comes to the other duelists in our league? I actually have that info for you guys right now. So this is the current top 5 out of all of the duelists. You see Durka's, the curvature of his head just peeking up above everybody else.
He looks so good in this graphic.
Where do you guys think Floor sits in the top 5, top 6, top 10 even?
I'm gonna say it's like in between. Like, it's not going to be the lowest, but it's not going to be on Durka.
So like 2, 3, and 4 kind of area.
Yeah, I would put her on par to probably beside Kayak and Minibu, I want to say. In between those two, I want to say.
This is considering also that they were the team that had the 0-2 loss, okay?
Yeah, this is exactly. So they didn't even win a map. I can now show you exactly where Floor actually sits in comparison to the other duelists. She's second. She's not third. She's not fourth.
Okay.
She's not fifth. She is second. Oh, that's a lie. I think she is second by... She's third. She is second. She's off by 1 ACS.
By 1 ACS.
So
okay, so Fino is the one who's sitting on the second slot?
She's almost second. She's third with another game to play. This is incredibly impressive though, right, Billy? The fact that she's played one match and she's already third best.
Yeah, that I was literally just about to say that. The fact that she's played one match, third best, I'm expecting to see more big things coming out from her.
We know that this is where she... Florescent, they worship florecer in Spanish. Flourish flower.
Sounds so much better in Spanish.
Flourish. Right?
Everything sounds better
anyway,
in Spanish.
but we know that she's an animal, right? It is on the stage where she's going to always give her best performance.
Yeah, it wasn't just us that were excited. You guys were as well. So let's take a look at the community reaction to Floor's debut.
The triple swing was outrageous. Uh-oh, this might be it though. Damn, dude, big 1v3. That was sick.
I got Floor in 1v3.
Yes! 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 Put the f***ing team on the back, Floor! Triple swing!
Oderus goes down, the Floor's on the site and has got
Oh!
to go. Absolutely no
Oh my god!
But after this meal, I'm actually locking in on the gym. I'm not trolling. Wait. Oh my god! Oh my...
How we snuck Jimmy in there? How we snuck him in at the end? One of those things was not like the others, but it's so nice to see everybody loving what Floor is doing, and we can't help but feel maybe she's even going to step up her performance even, because the full team is here. We can now confirm Batu is in the building. We've seen him. It is real. He will be playing on stage today. And Kakuka, how much of a difference will this make?
I mean, I think that they played well with Oderus considering the circumstances, but having your full roster, the initial plan is what every team is aiming for when the season starts. Now, to give a little bit of background of what we can expect from this player, we know that he comes from the Turkish league. Yeah, I can confirm that is Berlin's airport. I've been there 3,000 times.
But that was today.
He just arrived like 3 hours ago. Like, this is full esports mode. You arrive, you play, and sadly, if you lose in this circumstance, you're out. But as I was saying, given the context aspects of him and what he was doing last year, which was the only year that he actually really competed in that tier 2. Started off as a smoker, then moved on to a duelist, but expected to be playing on the initiator on this Apex roster. What do you make of him, Billy?
I think, do you know what? The fact that he has experience on playing a duelist, he knows how to set Floor up, right? He knows the kind of supportive
Turkish.
utility. Yeah, and he's
that's
Turkish,
also
right? Like, that does help, of course. But yeah, I think he's going to slot into this role quite nicely. And the fact that he has that sort of flexibility is a good sign for me, anyway, from Apex. And hopefully we get to see some more unconventional things, because at the moment they feel very structured and rigid in their approach. I know we've only seen one match from them, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing his debut.
Yeah, and you think I'm joking? I'm not. He's Turkish. That's enough. He's Turkish. It's going to be fine.
been here
But
before.
with Batu stepping in, it's time to, I feel like, show our appreciation to Oderus, the assistant coach who subbed in, and we can officially induct him into our Hall of Fame. And Billy, this is a Hall of Fame for a reason, because we've seen some legendary assistant coaches here that had to step in.
Yeah, I mean, props to Oderus. It's really great that he managed to jump into the server for the team. And it must be like a real kind of, I don't know, it must be a real boost having the coach in the server with you, right? If you're running out of ideas, at least your coach is there to hand to start implementing those.
Yeah, we've seen that in the past, and I think that this has been, quote-unquote, the best circumstances that the other teams have had, because we remember, and we were all here, when Casey needed a sub, and when Heretics needed a sub, kind of like mid-season, everything is do or die, but coming in here at the beginning of the year, and just for Kickoff, there's still so many things up for grabs for this roster, and I think he had a very good performance.
Where does he rank? We have to floor chart this. Where does he rank on the assist? Because for me, Zaysha's number one. Zaysha's number one.
Yo, but Weber was good.
Yeah,
Weber
but
was
Zaysha's number one.
hidden. Yeah, because he actually improved a lot. I don't know, I think it's very complicated. With just one match, I think it's complicated also because I think that he had the easiest circumstance.
It's fine. He's Hall of Fame regardless. He's Hall of Fame regardless. That's all
He's
that
got
matters.
his star.
Yeah, he does indeed. And a team that's still looking for their star, of course, Team Liquid. They've looked, I feel like, a little bit inconsistent here and there, but Billy, very formidable nevertheless.
Yeah, Team Liquid have had a really good start so far. I mean, obviously it's unfortunate that they've dropped down to the lower bracket, but I just think that there's more that we're yet to see from them.
Yeah, and the loss against Foot, I think, has to do with one Foot being extremely well prepared. We saw Cracks that was unhinged last week. That is the one that I expect to see for the rest of the year, because we're in love with him. But I think that they had a good start. I think that the victory against Koi, and especially what we're seeing from Nats in this IGL role, I think it shows a lot of promise, to say the least.
Yeah, the fact that we're in 2025 and Nat is still the star player of a roster, Billy, goes to just show how talented he is and how much he's evolved.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Nats, we've seen him picking up the operator as well, and it's been really, really nice to see. I think he's been incredible so far, and I think that with the amount of first engagements that he's been able to get with this operator, if he keeps this up, I think he'll be able to catch Apex by surprise, because as I said previously, it feels as though they've been playing really structured, and that might catch them off guard.
I am very happy. Probably this is the thing that I'm the happiest with within our region, and is that everybody that has been picking up the IGL role and putting that weight on their backs is still keeping up their performances. With him, Yumpy, Cloud yesterday. So this is what we want to see. This is the only potential that we talk about is what you see in the server.
Yeah, they just want to be Angel, you know? They just want to be that.
Did you see Angel yesterday?
That's why I'm saying Angel.
That's why I'm saying
Angel. Angel specifically. But how bit of a mismatch do you think this match is? Or do you feel like both teams are on the same level?
I don't think that they're on the same level. I think that still for Apex it's going to be complicated. I know that we're thinking about the year as a whole and how this could end up in relegation for them, but I feel like Liquid are starting to get the ball rolling. I think that they have a lot to learn from their losses and their close matches.
Yeah, I think that's a great point to make. They've been able to play more matches in Apex, right? So they'll be able to learn from those mistakes. They can go back, review the VOD. What do we want to fix going into the next one? And as you say, Apex, this is their first year in VCT, so I think that they still need to find their footing.
Well, it's their first year in VCT, but it's not the first year for some of the players we have in the league right now, because earlier today I had a chance to walk down memory lane with our veterans of Vova and Paditech. Make sure you have some tissues ready for this very cozy chat. We are approaching the 5th anniversary of Valorant, by the way. I don't know if you guys know this. So I thought, you know, we take a trip down memory lane. You guys are playing against each other today. You've played against each other for 5 years. So who better to kind of reminisce about the old days, considering it feels like nowadays our league is like dominated by the young players, right? They were like 16, 17. They didn't have to grind through the 2020, 2021 era. So what do you guys remember from back then? What's different, you think, from having to play in 2020, Paddy? I'll start with you compared to now.
I mean, many more Turkish players to play against.
It was just CNET back then.
Yeah, it was CNET, but now it's like almost full league is of Turkish players, you know, many talents, and yeah, they're definitely like the strongest ones.
Yeah. I mean, I remember me grinding ranked, watching G2. You had a little G2 era going on over there.
Yeah.
But you were
And then-
both on G2. You both had a G2
Yeah, but
era.
I was a bit later.
Yeah.
I mean, I came in, I didn't have any network, I didn't know anyone. I just literally came like a Turkish player, you know? I was just grinding ranked and hoping for the best. I mean, I was just put my mind to it, and eventually I got into Heretics.
How much do you remember playing against each other at First Strike? Because obviously, you know, I'm sure you
Yeah.
remember that tournament very fondly, but do you remember that game that you played against each other? Do you remember the maps you played on?
I remember Ascent. That one was
Yeah?
pretty,
I think there was also Split.
probably, but I just remember Ascent. I think it was the last map or something like that. I remember something happened in chat. And
There was things happening
I
in
don't even
chat.
remember
something
that.
was happening in chat.
I cannot
and-
remember that. Maybe someone was flaming.
Oh, okay. We'll drag this back over a little bit
Yeah.
later. Do you remember the first agent you ever played in an official, like on your debut? Because I had to go look this up, so I could tell you if you don't remember.
For me, it was either Phoenix or Omen. I would go with Phoenix, honestly.
I think it was Phoenix or Raze.
You were both Phoenix.
Yeah, nice. Good taste, good taste.
Yeah.
What happened? Why are you not playing Phoenix anymore? What changed?
I don't know. I was duelist main to begin with, and then Heretics was like, "Oh, you want to try smokes?" I never touched smokes before. I was like, "Yeah, let me try," and they just picked me up. And
Rest is history.
Yeah.
Rest is history.
Basically, same with me. I was playing Phoenix, running ranked, playing officials, and then I joined G2, and they were like, "Yeah, we put you on smokes."
it's the ultimate like
Yeah.
flex roll, you know? Just fill.
Mixwell will take the duelist role. Yeah, you just go on smokes.
Okay, but if your current team came up to you and was like, "Oh, Phoenix is quite good. Like, we got some like ideas," would you be down to just be like, "Yeah, I'll play Phoenix"?
Nah, I would let the youngsters play Phoenix.
Yeah.
Honestly.
We got Flora and Batu.
Yeah, but they weren't even old enough to play VCT when you guys were playing Phoenix, like back in First Strike and all that stuff.
Back in the days, maybe, but nowadays, I'll maybe swap to Initiator Max, and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could see that. And a very last question, you know, the people that weren't watching Valorant back then, give me like a team, maybe like an unsigned team back then you wish that they still existed now, that the current audience could get the pleasure of watching, you know, what they were doing back then. You know, you're like Party Paras, Fabricant.
I would go for Party Parrots or Old Forza. roster.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I remember those
playing
two
Forza, yeah.
teams really well because I was playing against them many times in scrims and officials, and like I was always playing against them, and I was like, yeah, these guys are good. Yeah.
Demons, yeah.
Can't really think of one out of those two. Maybe I need to go into my brain and dig
Yeah.
in. I can't really remember.
There was like a no Penky. There was like the CNED no Penky.
Oh, no
as
Penky,
well.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Those guys were doing good at some point.
It was quite a
Yeah.
few of those teams. I mean, I feel like Gambit is a bit of a cop out to say Gambit.
I mean, of
But
course,
yeah.
of course.
Gambit. All right. I feel like we should do this again. There's a lot to talk about, a lot to reminisce about. But thank you for joining me today, and good luck in your game against each other for I don't know how many times, but yeah, good luck.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
You heard it from Paddy. The main difference from here compared to back then is everyone is Turkish. Every team has a Turkish player. They're going to face a new Turkish player in the league as well. How much damage do you think Batu can do? Can he be one of the stars coming into this?
I mean, we're about to see. I'm hopeful, especially because we know that we expect that he's going to be slotting in that initiator role. But now that Avuva has said, you know, that they know they have the potential for a double duelist, I'm down for it.
I'm not against that. You know, we've seen it with Fnatic yesterday, Alpha and Kayak running havoc in the server, so I'm not against that. I want to wait and see him play. I'm kind of holding my reservations a little bit and see how it goes.
By the way, we were talking about when we thought Paddy and Bova had met for the first time. It was this year. They
It's
had
crazy.
never met in
You
real
made me feel
life.
so old. Also, where was that in the studio? That looked so cozy.
Yeah, we have a
should go back.
fireplace now. Yeah, we got a fireplace now. We got a fireplace now. But the stakes are at an all-time high as elimination is once again on the line for our teams. It's time to see how Apex and Team Liquid can handle the pressure.
with me.
We have seen a lot of fantastic debuts on this stage before, but none had to do it when the stakes are this high. We're talking about elimination. We're talking about Batu on the side of Apex coming to Berlin this morning and potentially have to be sent home instantly if his team does not perform against Liquid. Now, looking at this map, Vito, what are you guys expecting?
Well, Team Liquid is still, perma-banning this Lotus, we can see at least for now. Apex is going to ban again that split, very similar. And Team Liquid is going to select that Abyss. We saw what they could do the other day. It makes a lot of sense. I think that they were very well synced with each other. It makes sense, again, for them to pick this map.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they beat Movistar Koi 13-3 on it, so they're probably thinking like, okay, we've got this one under the belt. But, I mean, Haven as well, leaving that as a floater, I'm not mad about either because Apex, they showed what they were capable of on that map. They were able to take it to 12-14, so I'm not mad at this veto.
Yeah, I'm just going to add one more layer to the stakes here and the pressure on the shoulders of Batu. He has never played Pearl or Abyss in an official before, ever. So, I mean, where do we even start with what he could play agent-wise?
I mean, we can expect him maybe to slot it, as we're saying, as that initiator, or maybe after what happened the other day, they decide to put some extra power, maybe whip out some crazy compositions, or just go for the double duelist, whatever makes you feel more comfortable. Or if that was the plan, maybe they just stick to the guns.
I think comfortability is key here, right? Because he's not played on that stage before, right? So you want to make sure that he's able to kind of ease any sort of nerves that he might anticipate and just kind of, warm up to the stage initially.
He's a Turkish player. We showed the ranking the other day of the debut from the players. I expect that we maybe have to bring it back. We've had a lot of young guns, a lot of people with a very short trajectory before even getting here. So I'm really excited.
I'm excited as well. Let's see what we're going to get in terms of composition out of this. Yeah, he's just going to be playing the Sova here. But just very quickly on the side of Liquid, my eyes are on Kiko once again. He's been so good. And the pressure is not going to be getting to him at all.
No, absolutely. I think that this reroll for him is looking amazing, hoping that he can keep up that same performance. To me, Team Liquid, the synergy, as we were saying, that they showed against Koi was on a different level. Kiko, Patitech, Kami, like Kamo barely even had to do anything. Even if he was done at the beginning of the round, he put the impact that he had to have. I'm really excited, though, to see a Vova on that Astra.
Yeah, and I'm very excited to jump into this map now. I also am very excited. I want to hear what Mitch and Tom think about the good old days. What was your favorite player from back then?
Oh, I'll let you start with that one, Tom. Who's your...
My favorite player from back then? Do you know what? It might actually be Vac. I think Vac, back in the day, old school no Penky, he was unreal.
Yeah, I love that. Mine, I don't know if you guys have heard of him, a guy called Enzo. He's a pretty phenomenal player back then, still is now. We'll see him someday.
You know another one? BBL Russ. I feel like we could do this all day.
That's not serious, though.
I feel like we could do that all day, but like he was honestly unbelievable at the time. Nonetheless, we're going to be getting into this one, and I honestly am torn where I think this one is going to go, because obviously Apex didn't have the best showing in their previous match. Liquid made more mistakes than anyone I've seen in the entirety of the tournament so far, so it's who comes out playing a better game today. Florescent already looking for that early battle versus Camo. I don't think Camo's had the best time individually. We'll see if he can show up today.
Well, they certainly started it out well, but traded out and the A side lost as a result. Team Liquid will be forced to play this one as a retake. It's pistol round here on Abyss, and Ghosts across the board for Apex and Team Liquid. Looking for those headshots on the way through, and up close, the first challenge will be Florescent. Good delivery onto Kiko, keeping the numbers even though. And Team Liquid, as we can see, have full site control. This is a bit of a problem though, because as time goes on, we see a star online for Avova. They can stop this defuse every step of the way. Instead, Team Liquid want to get ahead of that utility, fight into the choke point, drop these players before they can use their util, and it came damn close with a double kill from Nats. But Malsey, a little bit too sharp.
Yeah, no, a great round from him individually. And I think that's going to be a big part of things, because I think there were a lot of pieces missing last time Apex played. Maybe some nerves on the stage, maybe having the standing, because I feel like Oderus played very well individually.
Phenomenal second map especially.
It's always going to leave those extra gaps where maybe the synergy isn't quite there, or you just lose a little bit of that Turkish flair. The other thing also to take into consideration is Batu being on the stage, because it's a very different from like pracking at home in your bedroom or playing some of those online matches, or even just more regional stuff, to being here in Berlin, just off a plane, straight on the stage.
That's the other thing, just off a plane. The others have adjustment, and they've been here a while now. We're seeing a bit of pressure put onto Hype, obviously. His only pistols he's up against, and he's only got a pistol himself. So going down here is not going to be the end of the world. With a bit of support, Florescent dropping a player on the A site. Plant will be acquired, and the margin for error is the thing we need to touch on. For Apex, they brought 2 pistols. They've already lost Hype. But Batu also has one to work with. So even one more player being dropped by Team Liquid won't have any lasting effects, let's say. See how much they can get done. It's just a few upgraded pistols and a great flash that seems to put this one to bed.
Yeah, it also seemed like Avova had the right idea with the player already crossing into the corner. I don't really want to see too. Actually, one thing that could be interesting is maybe Malsey dropping that gun over and going in with the pistol. That extra orb for the next round could be something. Bringing in that null command for the first buy when you're already going to have a missing piece or two in terms of those rifles. Instead, it ends up with Kiko going down to the spike and the rest of them holding on to what they've got. And now I think it's also worth mentioning another sort of battle here for Kiko. Apex, an old team, a team that he unfortunately at the very last hurdle failed to help qualify into the league. These are the players that he's up against that did it. Obviously with a couple of changes here and there. I do kind of think that he might have that sort of thought process of like, yeah, I kind of want to beat them just to kind of like, I've been in the league a year, you know? You had to wait. Well, I want to prove that I've used that year wisely.
Get that chance to prove yourself. I mean, Team Liquid, Tom, look at the start of this round. A lot of players sitting outside of the A site. Flash is primed and ready. They're going aggressive. They're taking the fight to Apex, but they will not win it. And Apex know damn well Patatek's here. He threw a flash not long ago. He's being caught as well by the knife, the null command, robbing him of any utility. And now in a 4 versus 3, rifle sat on the floor as well. This is a phenomenal start for the attack side.
God, that early battle couldn't have gone much better. Would be nice if Florescent was still standing, but not the case. At least in terms of the defensive gamble for now, it's not a bad one. 2 players currently sat within the side, but it's very patient from the side of Apex, not wanting to overextend. And Patatek's caught completely out in the open. That flash couldn't have been any better. And now for Kiko, we're looking for those heroics again. Had an insane performance last time on this map, and well, the first kill goes his way.
How much more can you expect? Even the reveal forces him all the way back, barely evading those couple of bullets. The work's being done to put this into a winnable situation. The door not quite closed on this one yet, and that could have been blown wide open. But they've managed to cross back now, all 3 players from Apex in A main. And the same problem that we saw in that pistol round. Utility is going to be there. Shock darts are online and they're fired through for big damage and a kill on the back of it, leaving Nats alone, facing down the stun and then the gun. Hold on! He's come out with 2! It's half! It's winnable and Nats makes the impossible reality right in front of our eyes! What a clutch! A Red Bull clutch from Nats!
Oh, you can't be doing things like that this early in the day. I've not had the chance to warm up, get prepared for anything just yet, but that 1v3, I was looking at it in the moment where Kiko gets that to half, and I was like, oh, it's unlikely. But there is somehow an opportunity when you have Nat still on the board, but that is an early blip for Apex that, although it's not a killing blow, like it's not going to obliterate their economy, that was a bonus.
It's a round that they should have won anyway.
100% should have won that. It's going to be infuriating. See how they manage to respond. They do now have the null command, Cosmic Divide available, and again, it looks like an early brawl.
It is indeed, and it's Camo going down. Kiko still holding ground, and Kamek stepping up for the fight. Another big push early on from Team Liquid.
Hello.
It's not ended up in the best position. Florescent pops off with those last two. That puts her up to 4 kills already, and it's Nats, the player who clutched the previous round, now meeting his demise. Florescent answers back. A big clutch from Liquid, and then an ace from Florescent in return.
It just puts a smile on your face. You're looking at a player, the first to make it from game changers into the league, acing versus Team Liquid, a mainstay within the VCT. And there are players on the other side as well that you're talking about, highly experienced, a minimum of about a year within the league, if not more. What a big round from her individually, trading out so many of those early successful aggressive plays. And now, well, I said it wasn't a killing blow last round. Look at the damage that has done. Liquid's economy in the bin, and if it wasn't bad enough, I was going to say Florescent has a Blaze Storm, but actually the defense is the one to get an opener.
Yeah, it's just a blazing push down mid, completely catching Avova off guard, removing, first of all, a lot of that threatening host plant utility. Second of all, some of the entry ability with the smokes now not online, but Team Liquid playing quite far back, look to exploit that. Some shots landed, and there's the conversion. It's actually Camo going down. And he swings in to finish off his prey. Hype left on 20 HP thanks to that fight earlier. And the Hunter's Fury, a big threat to low health players. Luckily, Hype's not being targeted, and the shots don't land for kills. A little bit of damage while Nats falls to the Blade Storm of Florescent. This is starting to look very dicey indeed. Even Kiko, he's been spotted on the way up. That's the low HP player. Nice headshot, but Malsy's down below waiting.
Kiko definitely seems to be the danger, and also puts doubt in the minds of all of the attackers. Have to be careful of this flank. Kiko's still going. Potential for maybe a back-to-back as he now needs to ace it. It's not going to be happening. Florescent and Batu is the deadly combo to finish. Still a costly round, but you have to bear in mind that although that wasn't a financial investment, they did use a couple of high-impact ults.
That's it. Those safety nets that could be there for a round like this, instead taken away to gamble on this one. And it could have worked out. It did come close, but players like Florescent digging them out of those spots.
11 and 2.
A couple of kills. 11 and 2 start is pretty decent. I think it has been pretty much spending this whole game matching the kills of the rest of her team combined, which is damn impressive. Team Liquid have called a timeout here. 30 more seconds to get down to the root of the problem as they're about to come into the next round. Sure, lighter on ultimates, but they've got the rifles back in play.
So then we saw the floor chart on the desk. Maybe Florescent wants to move up it a little bit. Because, you know, I think for her debut, it didn't go awfully, but we know what floor standards are. We know what the expectations, even if it is her sort of first time at the top of the game. I think everybody knew there was going to be damage dealt to opponents. This is a little more like it, 11 and 2. And also, you have to bear in mind, this was a map that I think we've seen shaky ground almost everywhere from Liquid, whether they were successful or not. This map, they won 13-3 versus Koi. They were utterly dominant. It was a really clean attack side. We didn't see the defense. They won 11-1. The game was over before it really began. So we don't know how they're going to fare on this defensive side, especially with how direct Apex have been being in these early rounds. It becomes very difficult. You can't gamble rotations. You can't play with info because you just don't know where they're going.
Well, even though, look again at this round, it's not quite 3 players outside A main for Apex, but we've seen them wait for Team Liquid's aggression in the early round, then move into these much more pacey direct hits after. Team Liquid have given them those opportunities. Even think of the last round, they walked up mid. The aggression was still there on a low buy. So coming into this round, you understand why Apex are expecting to see that same face, but a much more passive approach from Team Liquid. They'll use the conditioning of these early rounds to run the clock down and force Apex into a bit of a blind decision. Unless they can find some info fairly soon, they're going to have to gamble.
Yeah, I also like the investment coming in of the Outlaw. I'm maybe spotting the economy because you're looking down and there's 3 players right now that have the light shields. Would be an instant kill for Florescent if she manages to catch anyone out. I also wouldn't be surprised if in a moment's notice, maybe that will get swapped over to a teammate. For her to be able to try an entry. Instead, though, they're trying to sell this ruse. They put the drone into the A site, and now Florescent will poke and prod to try and pull players to this side of the map, but Liquid are giving nothing. They literally are just holding as passively as possible
30 seconds left.
Ultimate activated, signaling the start of the push on the other side of the map. Florescent's gone down. It won't draw any attention away from this site hit. Plant coming in on B. Team Liquid have lost Kiko, but they've maintained the advantage. Happy to play this retake. Players they're up against. We talk about that util. Malzy doesn't quite have the nade, but 2 flashes. He'll stay up close. Going to try to make this messy for Liquid on the retake.
Yeah, 1 kill for Batu as well would be enough to garner that Hunter's Fury, which could be able to completely turn things. All the defenders also coming in from a direct angle. No one in from behind. It's going to be tough.
There's Malzy down. That second flash won't be fired out. The spam and the smoke a tiny bit off. Close to the head, but not close enough. Hold on. The reveal forces the defuse to stop. It's halved already. Evolva needs to be looky on this spray, and no, not today. Time to bring that weapon into the next round, disengaging and giving Team Liquid that second.
I was a little bit worried, even in the 4 versus 3, how that retake was going to go, but immediately getting a kill, having those deep smokes to sort of hold them back, it sort of relied on effective spams and basically just holding on to the player advantage that we saw earlier in the round. It's going to be another on the board, but even still, the amount of players surviving leaves this defense with still some gaps in their economy. If they lose this next one, they're right back into trouble again.
Well, as it has just been a rocky start, no chance to really build up that economy. Same thing for the ults as well. After the gamble they took, they'll be building back up. Bladestorm for camo, not needed just yet with those rifles in play. The next round, that could certainly help out. For Apex, well, no surprise. They're yet again expecting that push from Team Liquid. Deep utility, only going to catch one. And look, in a way, this makes it look like it's a lurk. But it doesn't look... Oh. It does look like there's a rotation. Team Liquid are sending Kiko towards that A site. Maybe they do suspect a lurk.
Again, from these more direct hits, it's become much slower default. And I do think the adaptation that Liquid has made is just to sit passive. If we don't give them the fights, they're not going to have that same level of advantage, leaving Nats as basically the earliest point of information on this A site. Kiko playing even further back, but also can have that quick rotation. And again, they've had the knife line up from quite far away just to sell the idea that they're going towards the B side. But I'll be honest with you, it hasn't worked.
Yeah, Team Liquid had that rotation from Kiko start of the round, and it's still here. 3 players stacked up on A, ready for this fight. Florescent blinded, had to use up a Cloudburst to stay alive, but can't find the players, and now is found out open in the side. It's Team Liquid winning every single duel, putting that one to bed. They lose 2 and come close to equalizing the scoreline. It's a great resurgence, especially considering the round that was in it. A loss there could have sent them, or could have sent Apex, way into the lead.
Yeah, I think this is where Apex almost need to pick up the pace a little bit. Liquid just resulting in waiting for contact, and you can see exactly what happens when contact comes in. You have the immediate pop of the cages, you have obviously all the trips around, but then you also have a paranoia that was thrown through. So when Floor goes over the top, she is completely blinded by everything. They can then have a quick jump back into the site from the players on the side, and it was just a very good, quick rotation in for the remaining Liquid players. This time, well, Hype at least tried to be a little bit more proactive, but he has gone down very early on.
Yeah, and Liquid have been happy to leave Camo solo holding that B side. A little bit of advanced information. I'm content that he'll be able to back out. Gives them numbers elsewhere. And look at the benefit with both Kiko and Patatek holding in the spawn. Apex weren't quite expecting to have that heavy of a fight up against them. Now there was a pick, and Batu has recovered a rifle. Phantom in hand, and now Camo goes down. This round goes from very easily winnable to under threat. Luckily, Nats and Kiko put a bow on it, and it is 4-4. Tied up after a slow start to this map. Team Liquid are very much still in it.
Yeah, as said, I now want to see what adaptations Apex have, because the slower hits that have been coming in haven't really worked when Team Liquid haven't gone pushing. Like, literally, you can watch the beginning of the majority of their rounds, and they're holding a little bit deep when it comes to mid, but everything else is just passive on the sides. They are not pressuring the map at all. They're not going looking for information. They are waiting for Apex to execute and come to them, and with how slow Apex are, it leaves it down to about 20 seconds. The other thing as well is they're not baiting out any utility. Think back to, not the last round, they only had pistols. Round before, if you have Paranoia still available with 15 to 20 seconds left, you haven't baited out any of the utility. All the cages, all the trips.
Yep.
Nothing was gone from that site hold.
Well, this is it. And I mean, you look at Apex in the first couple rounds, they pump brakes, they wait for pushes, Team Liquid step into their crosshairs and end up getting dropped. They can often pick up the pace into a more direct hit after that initial engagement because you know the numbers are a little lighter on that map after you've killed, or that side of the map after you killed 2 people. But then they keep going with that same strategy. They keep waiting, and Liquid just stop biting onto that bait. And I think that really is the issue. It's the fact that you end up in that position where you have to now sit back and go, okay, they're not giving us opportunities. Let's make some of our own. Let's get aggressive early. Let's fight them for a little bit of map control. Because clearly, at least from what we've seen so far, unless Apex push, Liquid won't. That said,
Break away.
I feel something funky working up there.
Wait, it's the fact that if you've taken a pause, you're probably going to change something. They've dodged the knife that's been thrown in the majority of the rounds, not heard anything. It seems like they are going to take some more aggressive pressure, but with no pressure in mid. Look how pacey this is from Apex. A complete change-up. 2 players waiting outside of the B site, and the remainder just left on the backside. Hype finally onto the board. First kill in the match. Can Nats hold on?
Surely not. Those cages are about to fall, and he is surrounded. Numbers everywhere. Behind him, beside him, and right in front. That one was done before it got started. Kiko caught as well by Hype. A big pickup, putting them on the board at last. The Team Liquid have a little more aggression facing them. A flash from Malzy, a peek from Florescent. The chances of this round go from 0 to none. Patatek 1v4. He has time to close the distance. Has a little bit of utility as well, but this is too big of an ask. Surely the first one even gets the reveal taken out. Swing on backside, spots one, but time is ticking. And surely now it's ticked too far. He would need more kills by now. And he would need Hype not to have found his mouse. 3 kills in this round.
Yeah, finally seeing a little bit of life in the center. I think as well, a lot of the way that he's been playing so far has been isolated. There's been him lurking through mid or lurking on the other side of the map, whereas this time it was a clear plan of him and Avova wait while they take middle control. And that is sort of the value, like, of having one of these quicker rounds is we've seen Liquid play so passive that the only hold they've had in mid was all the way back. That means that space is free. So Apex utilize it. I imagine that's a call from Danito as well, going into the pause, something you can clearly note. We'll see though. Now there's going to be a little bit more of a response. The thing is, Floor still looks like she wants to go for that same play into mid again. If it ain't broke.
I guess I have to see if Team Liquid have fixed it and solved that hold, because last round it does seem unfortunate from the Liquid perspective. You battle for A main, you dodge the utility, you fight for it late off the back of a flash. 3 players committed to that strategy. Nobody from Apex there. And by the time you realize that, they've already come behind your teammates on B. Disastrous. But it's an acceptable loss. Florescent going aggressive. Another pop flash out of the smoke. Malzy's been on point with those KO flashes so far. That's gotten Florescent into a position where, sure, she won't be in the push for the B site, but she is cutting off rotations and making this a headache for the side of Team Liquid.
Got to be careful not to be too slow. When you have that null command for the defenders as well, it's going to be utilized already. A bit more passive in some of the positioning. Florescent just trying to cause issues into middle, but will be isolated and taken down. Hunter's Fury also sent through from the attack, but it doesn't find a thing. And Kiko's just walking around, walking into the site. Nobody there to stop him. Finally, Avova will put him down, and the spike is planted. Well, Hype. 3 kills last round, 4 in this.
4 with 14 HP. Yeah, it's not to be. Tied up yet again. Team Liquid not going to let Apex build up too much distance between them. Hot on their heels, and now neck and neck. And for the side of Apex, well, even looking at Team Liquid, one of the problems they had was they had burned those ultimates early. But it's almost worked out for them. Now the cycle comes back online. Hunter's Fury is there for Kamek moving into this round. And you've just seen some dumped in by Apex. Batu used his for, well, they lost the round. And now it's not going to be there. So, negative impact.
I don't think it connected or delayed. You could see while it was going off.
To get them there quicker, but...
Well, no, because it was going off when Kiko was running into the site. So Kiko still just reclaimed space while the Hunter's Fury was going off. So it's like some angles were cleared, but others were, I guess, ignored, which isn't his fault individually.
Sure, yeah.
But just as the team, it didn't really do what they were hoping for.
There was a blind spot for sure.
Aggression to A. Again, we see the knife thrown in towards the site, hoping to catch out Nats. Instead, Florescent leading the charge. Oh, they've kind of gone past each other here. This is classic Nats, if anything, but Camo's doing all the work. Well, he gets there in the end.
Yeah, a nice little spray transfer. They weren't expecting him to be sat inside the cage, which, if you've ever watched Nats play the game, maybe that's a little bit of an oversight.
Yeah.
Hype, 1v4. This time he's got more than 14 HP, has the spike with him, and a wide open B site. If ever there was a time, this probably wasn't it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're like one of, maybe even the #1 Hype fan.
I think I might be.
So do you believe that he's going to win this?
Well, Patatek's already played it wise. He didn't commit himself to the B side.
Angel won a 1v4 yesterday.
He did on Haven. It was beautiful.
So
Hype's got a chance. Patty's giving him an opportunity, but that's not a gun. So that's not going to help out in the fight.
You could say he tripped.
He did. He tripped and he fell. Flat in his face. 6-5. It was going to be that either way. It's Team Liquid claiming that lead. Again, this was a very shaky start to Abyss. Their map pick, it had me worried, but certainly seeing a world of recovery here. And a big problem is this A site defense with Nat. They don't seem to have clocked the fact that when that jet dash goes in, he is sticking close to that pillar, putting up his cages, and finding a way to survive on the site. It's what he does best. And I think Apex, if they do go back to A in this round, they need to have Nats figured out. Although the easiest solution to stopping Nats from having that impact, just go the other way.
That does look like the plan for now. Florescent definitely needs an orb, though. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind seeing the odd Bucky clip here and there. But I do think the Blade Saw might be a slightly better investment already. Patatek has spotted her out. The more interesting thing, though, is how far Hype has managed to get, just walking all the way in.
Yeah, it was a KO knife cleared site, so they knew they were playing back off site. And I don't think he had utility, or unless I missed it, for the cross. Just, okay! The crosshair was already on them! That's a nice pick for Florescent, indeed, and it opens more space. Hype will have less players coming through that choke point to try to take this duel. Hunter's Fury deployed. Hype dodges the first, doesn't dodge the second. They know he's up close, and he'll be dropped by it. A nice shot by Kamek. Adjusted his crosshair by a little bit, and it's helped out. Funky not gonna land the shot. Apex losing players, losing ground. And Team Liquid closing in on that spike. The Cosmic Divide goes up. If anything, it might even help them cross. Now all players right on that. Up close, Nats has cover from top. There's no way that they can deny this without just dropping all the bodies. Avulva's come out with a triple. They all pushed him. And now the Cosmic Divide used for the reposition, but he's spotted. He's taken down. Patatek still in with a chance. Needs to get this half, and Malsey is playing with the time. This one is ending neck and neck. A phenomenal display by Apex in this last round. I thought this one was done.
God, you say Apex, I say Avulva. That was his Cosmic Divide that created an angle for him to find the kills. Just utterly disgusting what was achieved in that round. But, you know, that is only one half, Mitch.
You're insane, Uncle. There's 1v1s, they helped, yeah?
That final kill is absolutely everything. Timing comes down to the last second. He's got himself the paranoia, leaves him completely blind. It is Apex to undo everything that happened last year.
I think the feeling after we won Ascension, I was I think one of the people that were crying, you know, because to be honest, I thought about retiring after 223. Then I went to IGL, did a role that I don't know how it's gonna work, and I think I did pretty good.
Nice. Let's go!
And at the end, it was so good feeling. Even I know that I already know that maybe some people will not stay in the team, but it's still I really wanted to make it with this roster, you know? It was like more important, I think, than like winning VALORANT, just to make it with this roster.
Nice!
Because we had like a lot of problems during the year that, like, you know, happened like outside of the game, like basically with people had in private life, you know, and we managed to win this. It was so good feeling.
And to make themselves to the land that was promised. They are back, they are in, they have made it to the VCT.
Insane.
Well, it is wonderful. We still get to see so many of these players kicking about in VCT. Malzy, we heard from him at the halftime, and now we'll be getting back into the game. He'll get to prove himself again on the server. It's been a good half of Valorant. A strong start for Apex. Team Liquid find their footing, and then Apex get just enough rounds to keep it neck and neck. Big clutch, or big play, I suppose, from Avova. Technically not a clutch at that stage. We move into round 13. Pistol, and again, it's all ghosts. They're really loving the ghosts in these pistols.
Yeah, you don't have to pray for RNG quite as much.
A lot of utility belts that you can still get a decent.
This is a
bang
full
for your buck.
retake over on the B site. It's only Nats hoping that. Well, no, there's not even anything he can action off other than the trip up close. But after not spotting anything on the other side of the map, they've actually rotated players in. This is now 4 players here. Attackers building up, and then Apex, they go back again.
And it's not like they've given that information away. Nats is going to hope that the Chaos has given him a gap to exploit. In fact, there's 2 players watching it, and that has caught him off guard. Your lurkers down. Now only the direct hit remains, setting their sights on A. But it's not like it's wide open either. Avova is here, and so too is Florescent. A tough take sits ahead of Team Liquid, and they'll group up, going to the backside together, finding one, but Kiko's gone. They try to find Florescent, and the reload, the lack of ammo, the only thing that separates them. They're still going aggressive. Liquid don't want to plant just yet. They're going to run straight into them. A surprise for Apex. Low HP on the remaining players. Batu's got a shock. A reveal in 20, and time on his side. Here comes the shock dart. It's fired out. Whoa, what? You can only assume he meant to hit the pistol. Click number 1 instead of number 2. Well, number 3, I suppose, because the knives came out. I don't know how that's happened.
I think he was assuming that he was still planting and was going to jiggle and maybe swing back, and then went too far out, not realizing that he was holding.
A very wide jiggle, yeah.
Yeah, I think he was checking if the player was planting, and well, it got kind of baited by it. That's at least how I read that, but that's definitely an unfortunate mistake. First day. We'll give him a break. But. Yeah, not expecting, anybody to make that wide out.
Mechanical breakdown. I really, with the way he swung that, to me, it looks like he wanted to have his pistol in his hand. But whatever decision he went for, you could see that's not how he thought it would play out. 7 rounds now for Team Liquid. The lead is theirs again. And this one, although last half, Team Liquid take the lead. Apex right back. It was a give and take. We don't expect to see that in this round. Look at the sidebar on your right-hand side. Apex have got nothing but classics. This should be a round that Team Liquid easily win. And then you look at where Team Liquid are going as well. If they go to the other side of the map, to A, they could be in a bit of trouble. There's plenty of players. Instead, it's the B side. Cypher's here, but he hasn't invested very much, so there's not even a piece of utility.
No, this is as if you basically removed abilities and just try and fight without them. Works for us. Like Nats is just going to be a bit confused to lose that battle versus a classic. Talked about the RNG, there it goes, in the favor. Any more damage? That's the real question. 3 guns still held. Kiko up close, only has a pistol, but does have a paranoia to invest.
It's been put in though. Didn't find his mark, so he just falls back from that angle. Keeping the distance, keeping the guns on that choke point. Great damage by Malzy already. Anything else is huge. Kiko's on 20 HP. The round, you hear how fast that spike is ticking away. It's not quite winnable anymore.
Kiko
they can
also
come out
doesn't
of
have a
here.
gun.
Their head held high. That's huge. Kiko, sure, he didn't have a gun. He might have been able to recover one. That's not a chance anymore. 1 player surviving. that's as close to a win as you can get without putting a round on the board for Apex.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, Kiko couldn't really run in that scenario because there's nothing to save. So it's like you need to go back. At that point, you were only taking one gun through anyway. Even if Kiko survives, what have you gained? Yeah. A ghost. Right. It means absolutely nothing. So the fact that you're now looking at Molzy, just a couple of orbs away from having an ult. They come in with rifles. Because of this, Liquid are now down to a couple of pistols going into the bonus round. This is a real opportunity. And bear in mind, as said, versus Koi, the attack was where Liquid were almost unstoppable. I think they had such a streak of rounds. Damn, this is aggressive! Okay, Florescent. A pot flash into the entirety of Liquid. Florescent is alive, and two of them are dead.
Florescent's looking for more. Connecting on Patatek, another flash. This one not quite finding its mark in the same way. That's the whole site wide open. One little mistake, an overheat, and now it's two players coming on the flank with a trap sitting there as well. Nats is 9 HP, Kamek's 45. If it's a head-to-head duel, if they're stood in the open, Wild Western style, a duel, sure. An Apex win, but
flank, the plant kind of sucks. Like, it's not in a great position. They're gonna go walkabouts to try and clear some of the backline spots, but there's only so many places these remaining players can even be.
Two shock darts to work with. The defuse already started, and they need to get on there. They need to stop this right here and now. There's no way to stop it. Apex just walked in and defused. They just walked in and defused. Team Liquid, obviously, the trap gets triggered. You assume that's one player behind, one in spawn. Let's go, kill him, win the round. But it was two behind. They smoked the spike and just defused it.
That was what I was saying. Like, you see where the grav well is put? It's put up top. So that's because that's the only place you can deny that from. Unless someone has wrapped all the way around the map and come back around behind them, which is impossible. So it literally was a scenario where Apex go, well, if they're up there, they're grav world. If they're coming from behind the site, I'm watching it. Just defuse in the smoke. It became almost impossible. With how low HP, okay, you run out, start spraying, you are dead. There's no winning that.
Got 9 HP, yeah.
Even still, as a bonus with two weapons missing, it's not the worst case for Liquid. They make it costly. They now come in with a buy of their own, and this is where it comes down to crunch time. Early damage done by Hype, but he doesn't get the kill. 10 HP Kamek.
That connection could come back to help them. Kamek, though, even on a sliver of health, you look at the Hunter's Fury, you think about the impact that can have. A shift from Team Liquid, clearly setting their sights on this B site. Smokes are in. Camo will be too in just a second. There's the Hunter's Fury trying to find some targets. Nothing landing just yet, and indeed it won't. Devova inside the smoke. Might not be expected. There's a flash ready. Malzy's about to fire it through. Florescent's already connected. Now the push comes in. The retake underway. And it's Malzy landing that one from far away. Flash on the right. Florescent's not caught, though. Ready to take Kamek. Looking for a little bit more. The post plant from Team Liquid. With three players that they're up against, they needed something, and Patatek's the one to find. Nats tucked in, lands another, and this round is put to bed. Team Liquid, remarkable defense of that B side after the spike went down.
Yeah, so it almost does feel a little bit like the reverse of their game versus Foot, where they would get massive advantages and then lose the round. In this case, it seems like they're having quite a few disadvantages, but coming out in those clutch scenarios, which, again, when you look at the caliber of players, when you look at players like Nats, that's kind of the expectation. But they're starting to do it again. A solid start to this attack side, extending the lead further on their own map choice.
We can
with a couple of quieter players. Over on the Apex side, definitely not the debut that Batu was hoping for. They need a response.
Well, there have just been a couple of rounds where that advantage is there for Apex and it falls apart. Sometimes the overheat on A main, for example, sometimes it's a mistake. Sometimes it is just individual brilliance coming through from Team Liquid. 20 and 13 is Florescent at the moment. Blade Storm online, no connection. No connection there either, down to just one blade. This is the main hope of the round, that they are going to have impact. Well, that one blade is now gone for a little bit, taken out by the ultimate of Patatek. Apex, like we said, with just pistols and that singular knife, they will be happy to take their time.
Molzy used his as well. I think everybody's suppressed. That seems like quite an investment.
I didn't think he would, yeah.
Put both in, especially when you have no ground. Like, they've now both got utility back, but that's definitely seemed to hinder the defensive retake far more than anything else. Camo up in the smoke with a Bucky. They're gonna just clean things up. Not much else to play with. And well, it ends up being an in-zone flawless for Liquid. When your opponent pops a Blaze Storm and a no command and you come out flawless, that's a pretty good round.
Yeah, not going to be too many complaints when they watch that one back in the VOD review. Well, at least on their side, their opponents might have something else to say about it. It is curious. You know, you wonder if the ult from Molzy is a misclick or whether that was intentional. The idea to pop it and then just wait out theirs doesn't really seem to add up.
I wonder if it was more just a lack of expectation of the other side doing the same thing. Because then it's like, if you have them not being able to put down smokes or util and Florescent with a Blade Storm, you're like, winnable. Yeah, it's winnable. You remove Florescent Blade Storm, and then you go, probably not winnable. You run through a smoke and get killed by a Bucky. But that early lead that was had by Apex, it's gone. It is long gone, in fact. And they are now sat here with a timeout, an attempt to try and turn the tide. Florescent's operator can be seen in the server. But they don't have the ults to back them up. Now, I will say, from the shadows, probably not going to be the most impactful in the world. Neural Theft as well. So it's like, I would say the ults actually maybe slightly favor Apex just because they're close to getting that Hunter's Fury on Batu, especially in retakes. That can be quite high impact, or even just combining it with some Florescent aggression. And I think on this defensive side, if they are going to win this, that's going to be a big part of it. How much can Floor do with sort of taking space away from this attacking side?
You also have to think, Avova one away from the Cosmic Divide, Tom. In his hands, I'm not sure.
It worked once.
Big play, big play.
But that's once more than we see a lot of times, so, you know. I remember when that ult originally was in the game, and it basically hindered the own team 9 times out of 10.
Misused it. It was insane. But it does take that little bit of adjustment. And that makes me excited for what Tejo can bring in the future. Just knowing that with most agents, it takes a while for teams to really figure out how to use them optimally, how to get that value. Team Liquid, a very direct approach. Down middle, taking control over the broken door room. It's going to be Hype who meets the pack. Big play from him, though. It's 2 dropped, and a chance now for Florescent. That operator only has to take down one opponent up close, and that will be the spike drop. But this player's coming from all around. A flash inside the smoke. Florescent knows it's time for the shorty, but it won't land. Patatek able to shut that down, take the B site, get the plant in, and now the information falls into their hands as well. That's going to point Kiko in the right direction. He could have the flank streams.
Playing this lurk. Avova already gone. That's just smokes. It's already going to be incredibly difficult with how passive Nats is currently sitting. And then also Kiko's going to TP to join up. Panatek in the corner, and well, never mind. He'll do all the work himself. 4 kills for Panatek. And this does sort of give me that reminder of what we saw last time out on this map versus Koi. It was a lot of space taken by Camo. Didn't have the best stats. He's doing fine in this game. And then Panatek and Kiko were there to clean up the mess. And that's exactly what happens here, is like you have that initial aggression, space is found, and then Panatek is there to clean things up.
Oh, with 2 rounds left to go for Team Liquid to take this map. It is their map pick, and they're certainly showing us why.
Yeah.
Apex need to heat up pretty soon.
Again.
Yeah. Well, Apex definitely need to heat it up, and this is not the round where we expect them to do it, but there are still opportunities. Lots of Sheriffs and a Stinger in the hands of Hype. This defensive side, if pushed into, the 4-stack on A early on for direct aggression, will be able to do wonders, work wonders. But again, Team Liquid know what they're up against. They're being cautious. They're looking for aggression early on, not spotting it, and avoiding giving any information away until that cam goes up on B. Even then, that's not a death sentence, but once they do put util down, they're going to be very quick and direct because they don't want Apex to rotate.
If anything, with a cam from Nats, you kind of expect him to be away from everyone else. But they're playing together because they don't want to give up anything. And while the solo defender of the B site is gone, an easy entry for Camo. Again, space taken, site cleared, and I would say there's a 0.1% chance of them winning this in the retake.
I'd be with you on that.
There's still
if they didn't have a Cosmic Divide, and well, that pick might
maybe if they had Florescent.
Slightly, Florescent's gone. Nate is good though. And down goes Camo. Florescent might be gone, but Malzy's on the server. Checked in with him at halftime. We'll have to check in with him after the game if he wins this one. Dropped after just the one. Patty with a double. That puts it to bed. And Team Liquid, question is how many will get out of here alive? Well, the answer is 3. Pretty definitively. 5 rounds in a row needed for Apex to be in with a chance of taking Team Liquid's map pick. If not, we will be going to Pearl with the weight of expectation sitting heavy on their shoulders.
Yeah, I think the proof there again that this attack side from Liquid has been incredibly impressive. I think Camo, again, you're going to look at the stats and go, he's had an okay game. I think on this attack side, he's just so deadly. Whether or not he is finding the opener or not, it's just getting information, taking space. Without him, it would be an incredibly tough time. And well, Nats was able to get a little bit of an upgrade. Now having the operator instead of that outlaw. Floor, however, has had enough. It's going to be aggressive. I like the attempted use of that dart to find a player. Instead, though, it's very reactive from Liquid there, going straight into the site.
If Pipe can hold his ground, they might have a chance, but if Camo claims backside, it's over. Big ultimate from Batu, connects onto Kamek, and now the site is very much claimed. The onslaught has been stopped. The operator of Nats is going to have to do some serious work. A nice bounce from Batu, takes down Patatek with the shock dart, and at this point, 1:05 seconds on the clock. Sure, they've got money. I don't think they're going to be thinking about saving. But if this was a regular round, if it was a closer scoreline, you probably would.
Maybe he's playing the reverse Turkish player. Only getting kills with utility rather than the headshots. That's what he's done in this round.
Think of the aim allegation.
Yeah,
he's going to come in. I'm the best utility player in the world. Fair play.
I think there's a few that's got to get past. So does Kiko. Ooh, that wasn't the best. The fact that 2 players peek and he barely takes a lick of damage. The spike's still deep into middle though. My only worry is Avova. If Avova goes down, this actually gives them a path, but instead he'll be there to take out Kiko, and with the spike spotted on Nats' back, 15 seconds, he will have to eliminate 2 players to get towards this site. That's the first. Hype just around the corner, and he'll be waiting patiently. 12-8, a response from Apex, but this has to be the start of a pretty hefty comeback.
Yeah, it most definitely does. Using their Hunter's Fury in the previous round for a pick, drop down out of heaven from Florescent, and that more or less destroyed this round. The chances of it, at least. Patty was left on such low HP that
I like how he goes off the map.
Sent him flying down into the abyss.
Let's go.
4 rounds in a row, though. Like you said,
Let's
it's a big task. It's tough. Team Liquid, by the end of this game, before we go to overtime, they'll have a lot of ultimates online if they decide to just conserve them and dump them into a round. For Apex, perfection is what they need to strive for, and a push up on B main. They are certainly not afraid to take risks at this stage of the game, but that's tragic. The dash into Batu. Florescent stopped in the open, and it's an easy kill, barely needing to move the crosshair for the second one. 12-8, 4 rounds in a row, and it starts with a 3v5.
That definitely seems like another mistake on the Apex side that's cost them dearly. It's the Ascension winners that stand, Malzy, Avova, and Hype, to try and give them some semblance of hope. Again, this attempted execution with Avova calling for support, hasn't been able to destroy the dart, and being tagged up by every single piece of utility under the sun. Avova's done well though. Hype as well! They've come up huge, leaving it now to just Kiko and a wounded Patatek. I don't think they're going to want to let them get him back online, but actually they might not be able to stop it. He's a grab one instead. I love the idea for Avova. Definitely seems primed
30 seconds
with
left.
his Astra utility. Kiko, so desperately low on health, won't be able to stand. What a round from Avova again. That's twice now he saved them.
Well, they held on for dear life, but I could have sworn that they were grabbing onto a fistful of sand. Somehow, though, they barely spill a grain. 3 rounds between them. What a horrific start.
He didn't move it. He didn't move his crosshair.
It was genuinely gifted to him. just a really unlucky scenario, and then for Avova and Hype to step up. Sure, Avova gets the last one. He got the triple kill, but they both put in that double. That's what cemented it. The star as well was really nicely
I love
used.
the way that Avova's brain works when it comes to playing agents, because I always remember it with like the Omen back in the day. A lot of the tech, you would just watch Avova and go, what's he gonna do? Because no one else is doing that. Florescent, aggressive again. This operator taking control, but you can see that Liquid have an awareness of their want to push. Shot not connected, baited out by Patatek. And in the meantime, Kamek on the other side of the map is retrieving orbs, wanting to get Hunter's Fury online. The sound has been heard, but with the knife not connecting onto anything, I'm watching Floor in the spawn rotate towards the B site, but that is the wrong read.
Pressure maybe put again onto these A defenders.
Flashbang.
But if they lose Heaven, that's really where the problems multiply. Avova will be trapped on the site. Batu is a player coming right behind him. Doors just broken wide open as he was firing utility. Nats with perfect timing, and Avova caught through the edge of the smoke. Now it's Hype, Malzy, and Florescent.
My eyes are down.
We've already seen a clutch. We need to see another great swing from Hype. So much more to be done.
Managed to clutch it out once. Gonna need a little bit more. Hype does well again, but there's an immediate trade left all onto Florescent to keep them in it, and it will not happen. Liquid on their map choice proved too good on the attack side, as they will take map number 1.
It was certainly a slow start from the side of Team Liquid, but they warmed up towards the end. Now, we have to see if the same can be said for Apex in the series. Next up is Pearl, their map pick. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after the break.
Red Bull gives you wings.